guys, welcome back to Cooking at Pam's Place. There are some dishes that are just delicious no matter what the season or the reason. And if you love cornbread, that's one of them. You can have it with beans, greens. You can have it just as almost like a cake or a side or whatever you want. We are getting ready to make one of my most requested dishes. Hot water cornbread. It's time for me to go ahead and make it for you all. So I just have some cornmeal in here. You could use yellow or white cornmeal. It's simple, just a few ingredients. We're gonna add to that some salt. I will leave all the ingredients and instructions so you can make yourself some hot water cornbread too. Yes, it uses simple ingredients because this goes back to the Native Americans, and they just had corn that they made cornmeal out of and water and some oil. You need a little fat, you need some oil. 3 simple ingredients, so they made it all the time and it was quick, easy, and delicious. But before we get started with the rest of the ingredients, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out today here in my kitchen with me. I really do appreciate each and every one of you all. Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss anything. And then just keep hanging around. Okay, so we've got our cornmeal in here and we have our salt. One of the most important things is the hot water. It's not just hot water. It needs to be boiling. I have mine back here. It just boiled over on my stove, so I know it's hot enough. Let me grab it. Now, what you're doing is pouring the hot water into the cornmeal in order to form a batter. So you want to pour a little bit at a time, otherwise you're going to have to start over because it's going to be kind of crumbly, and we don't want to start over unless we mess up and have to. So be gentle, just do a little bit at a time. And make sure that your water is absolutely boiling. You're just going to keep stirring a little water in here until it kind of forms a dough. That's what we're looking for, but we don't want a hot mess either. So do it a little bit at a time. I typically don't measure. If you're not comfortable pouring it like this, then pour a little bit in maybe like a measuring cup or something like that and go with that first so that you won't over pour. You all can see this, what it starts to look like as it starts to come together. You'll know when you have enough hot water in there, when you can take your dough up, and be careful, it's still hot. You can see the steam and it mashes together. You're pushing it together and it sticks. That's when you have enough water. At this point, let me wipe my hands first. Add in a little fat, a little butter. You can use ghee, you can use shortening or cooking oil, anything you want. Lard, just add in a little fat. I like to use butter because it adds flavor, and I like the taste of it. But you can use anything. You want to add that fat in there. It's going to make your dough a little bit more easy to work with, and it's going to add that flavor. So just mix that in. Once we mix this in, that's when we're going to head to the stove. You need to heat your skillet up. Your skillet needs to be hot enough, and you don't need a lot of oil in your skillet. Maybe about a 1/4 inch of oil in your skillet. You can use any kind of like neutral flavored oil is what you want. So this is what we've got. This is what it looks like. You want your dough to rest about 5 to 10 minutes. So we're gonna leave this right here, head over and heat up our skillet. I am just using regular old vegetable oil. Like I said, use whatever oil you want as well. And I'm just putting some in the bottom of here. We're gonna let this heat up and then we'll be back. While we let our hot water cornbread rest and our skillet heat up, I just want to come on and say that if you find your hot water cornbread disintegrating, falling apart in the skillet when you're trying to fry it, then your skillet was not hot enough and you didn't let it rest long enough. So make sure you let it rest, and make sure that even if you need to use a thermometer, for your oil, make sure it's hot. You don't want it so hot that as soon as you put it in there, it's like burnt, but you don't want it to sit in the oil. It'll soak up the oil instead of frying. You want to get that nice crispy goldenness on the outside. So make sure your oil is heated to maybe around 300 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Also, while our oil is heating up, prepare your plate to put them on. You want to get a plate, put a paper towel on it, and some type of wire rack on top of that, so that your hot water cornbread can sit on the wire rack and drain, and it's not sitting directly on the paper towels, because if you sit it directly on the paper towels, they will get soggy on that side. So to prevent that, put the paper towel under the wire rack. Hot water cornbread is not meant to be huge patties, but you can make them any size you like. I like mine to be a little bit thicker but smaller. A little bit more on there, a little bit bigger than that. And take your hands and just shape them the best that you can. And you can either use a spatula to put them down into the oil, or you can just simply sit them down into the oil, whatever you're most comfortablest with. Just put that down in there. And it should start sizzling around the edges just like that. That'll let you know that your skillet is hot enough. Also, do not overcrowd your skillet. Feel free to use the 2 spatula method. You all know that's one of my favorites. 2 spatula method. It ensures you don't get splattered. No shame in the game. All right. Let me let you all see the other side. See how golden that is on both sides? Isn't that beautiful? Both sides. We're gonna go ahead and get the second batch made, and we'll be right back. Now, while we wait for our hot water cornbread to cool, I'm going to make a little honey butter. Now you can drizzle it on there, or I just like to dip mine in it. It's just so delicious that way. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. This hot water cornbread that I made today, it's old school. It didn't have all the sugar and everything in it, but you can surely put maybe a tablespoon or 2 of sugar in yours if you want to, but it's not necessary. Just make your honey butter or any kind of sauce you want to go with it, or jam or anything like that. But this is old school. They only had a few ingredients, so that's what they use, so that's what I'm using. So I'm gonna put just a little bit of honey. I got this from my local Berrybrook natural food store here, and it's delicious. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this together. You have to be the judge of how much honey you put in your butter for honey butter. I'm gonna just put some in here, then we'll taste. Make sure it's combined really, really well, because you don't want to just dip it in here and you got butter or you got honey and you don't have the honey butter. So let's go ahead and get this mixed. Let me see how it tastes, if I need to add a little bit more in there or not. Yeah, I need a little bit more honey. Okay, that should do the trick. All right, I'm gonna mix this up. Then we'll do our taste test. Ooh, don't they look delicious? These are amazingly delicious. Yes. Okay, So I'm gonna break me off a piece, and look, they're nice and golden brown on both sides. That is so amazing. Before we go ahead and taste this, I just want to say once again, thank you all so much for voting for me in the 2023 Favorite Chef competition. The first round has ended and we're now in the second round for the top 15. So please continue to vote daily. I really appreciate it. And I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and the description of this video so that you can find it easy to keep voting. Okay, let's see what this tastes like. Like I said, I like to just dip mine in here. Oh my goodness. Let me break this off. Let me break it off. Yes, look at that dripping off of there. Wait. It is so delicious. And the honey butter, it's amazing. I'm gonna eat this little piece, then I want you all to see the inside. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It's fluffy on the inside, and you can make yours thicker if you want, but you have that crunch. I don't know if you all can hear me crunching or not, but you have that crunch on the outside, and that fluffiness on the inside. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much once again for coming and hanging out with me here in my kitchen. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. For all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your loyal support, and my channel members, oh my goodness. Thank you all so much for your loyal, faithful support. I really do appreciate each and every one of you all, and I will see you next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.